Last time on Just Create, we opened a brand new shop selling all of our stone and other building blocks produced by our factory, but currently we still have to manually stock our shops, and I want to take some steps today towards automating that. It'd be great just to have the shops get extra stock when it's needed without me having to get involved, but that's going to involve quite a few steps, and as Ryan Trahan would say, here's the game plan. First, we need to build a train yard over at our base that can load and unload goods. Next, we then need a way to get those goods from the factories that will be all over our base to the train yard ready for loading. We then need a train to load them on. I mean, we have a passenger train, but we need a goods train really. We also need to work out the address system to get things over to our Vault in Stam's train warehouse, and then we need a way to transport the goods from that warehouse to our various shops. That's a lot of steps. And I'm telling you now, there's no way we're getting that all done in one episode, but I do at least want to make a start. So let's go build a train yard. Although before we do that, look at this work of art. This place is awesome. Some cool little vending machines. I like that. Oh, the signage. That's very cool as well. So this is what we saw Egg starting to build last episode, the laundromat. I mean, it's called the diomat. Utility at its finest. Lovely tagline. So I assume that means it's some kind of dyeing station. Ooh, cool door. Ah, copycat doors, of course. Oh, there's loads of posters. These are cool. Step 1, add items to bottom drawer. Step 2, pay in the top drawer. Step 3, enjoy some of the brightest dyes on the server. Drop a diamond, get a rainbow. What? How does this work? I'm confused. I mean, he has just said how it works, I suppose. Are these the machines? Yes, okay. Ooh, look. Oh, this is so cool. What is that? Is that liquid dye? Where's that come from? Oh, apparently we have liquid dye from Dragons Plus. Oh, that's the mod we had to install to get enchantment industries to work. I see. Oh, but this is so cool. So they're all like their own little sort of washing, dyeing machines. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Diomat. It's not a cult. It's a dye cycle. Oh, that's so cool. I love the style of these posters. Very retro. I think it's safe to say Eggs has outdone himself here, folks. That might just be my favourite build in this area. Oh, and it looks like there's a little secret back alley shop down here as well. Limestone, cardboard, and tough bricks. Oh, this is the stuff that he was selling over at his base. I see. And another poster. Yeah, this is incredibly cool. Love it. Anyway, we're getting distracted. What are we supposed to be doing? Oh, yes. Planning out some kind of train station. So previously, we have sorted out a road over here, which is going to go into our station area, which is going to be all of this bit over here. Lots and lots of space. But this is going to be quite a big job over here. So let's break it down into some smaller ones. Step 1. Planning. Now, I think what I want to do here is have a big building over on this side, which is going to be our sort of main storage drop-off area. We'll have a platform here, we'll have a platform here, and we'll potentially have a central one as well. I also want to have a passenger station, or at least a passenger part of the building, so we might make this one big building, but we want to have a platform on this side and this side for the passenger train. What we're also going to need is a loading dock for vehicles, so I think the best place to put that will probably be over here, so we can have goods going in and out of the storage area there, and that means we can connect this road up to here, and also potentially run it across the back of the passenger station. We'll likely also need another drop-off area over here, with this road connecting up and continuing on this way, where we're going to be having our other industrial island, because we've actually got islands in both directions. We'll then dot in a few things like water towers, maybe a couple of storage warehouses over here somewhere, but I think that should work. What a mess. So let's just start off with a little bit of planning. In fact, I've got an idea, other than sleeping, which is definitely a good idea, because this is not lit up over here at all. So how do I make a wand of symmetry? I have a feeling this might come in handy on this build, and I reckon we've got the things to be able to do that. So it was glass in those three with an ender pearl, then a brass ingot, then a precision mechanism. No, wait a minute. I think they were the other way around. That should, there we go, make our wand. How cool is this? I have no idea how it works. So it mirrors block placement while present in any hotbar slot. When used on a surface, it creates or moves its mirror. Sneak while using to open the configuration interface. When used with no target, removes the active mirror. Okay, so I think this is going to do what I want it to. So if I find the central points over here, so there, and I'm not sure what the range is on this, but I know we increased it on the server, but I'm hoping that if we start placing blocks here, yeah, look at that. It places them on the opposite side as well. So we can basically mirror everything we're building, which is going to halve the amount of time it takes us to build this thing. So first question, how deep do we want this thing? I mean, that's probably going to be enough, to be honest. Although, I think I'm going to move it just a little bit further away from this corner. So, something about that size for the main building. Then if we do the same thing over here for laying out the passenger station. Now, I'm not sure if I actually want this to be attached to the main building or not, because if I did do that, then it's going to be quite a wide passenger station, and I'm not sure how wide we want it. In fact, I think we're almost definitely not going to connect them together, so let's actually put the passenger station in. We'll make it a little bit smaller than the main delivery one. And if we do it like this, then we can sneak a little road down the back here as well, which I think will be good, because then we can connect the two sides where we're going to have the delivery drop-off areas. So that area there will be our passenger station. We'll have roads going in between. We'll have some crossings. I think this could work nicely. So now I need to decide on a palette and maybe just sort of block out the rough shapes of the building, and then we'll figure out how it's actually going to look. So my basic thinking is that we'll have 2 bits on either side. And then we'll have a big arched glass roof over the top with a supporting pillar of some kind in the middle. So this bit here will be a solid wall. This bit here will be a solid wall. There'll be a bit of an arch over the top. But then all this bit here and here will be nice and open. And then, of course, that'll just carry on all the way to the back and connect up and so on. A nice basic shape. But I do need to decide what materials I want to use. I mean, there's probably going to be quite a lot of industrial iron and girders and things like that. Lots of weathered glass, no doubt. But I don't really know what I want to do the walls out of. Let's eat some steak and then go and have a think about this. I messed up. The next 5 minutes or so is fairly zoomed in. About this zoomed in fact. I don't know how, but I seem to have zoomed in on the screen when recording, and it only kind of got the centre bit like this. But it was important, so we're going to leave it in. It's still usable, it's still watchable, just, well, zoomed in. Sorry. So, slight problem. While I was thinking about textures and things, I've been catching up on the Just Create SMP members videos, and I stumbled across this video. I mean, look at this. It's not exactly what I was thinking, but it's very, very similar. The stone buildings either side, the big domed roof. Did that train just come out of that portal? Carrying milk? I don't think I want to know. But yeah, Chosen's basically already built pretty much what I had in mind, or at least something very similar, and that means I'm going to need to change my plans up a bit. Turns out Chosen's been very busy. Very, very busy. What is this? Chosen!
Hello? Yep. Uh-huh.
What is this masterpiece? This is glorious.
It's great, isn't it? Oh, man. I'm signing it up right now.
Dude, this is incredible. Basically, like you've put me in a bit of a pickle, you see, because I was about to build my big cargo station thing, and I've been catching up on videos in the background, and then as I was deciding on what palette to use, I'm like, okay, right, I think I've got an idea of how I want it to look, what I want it to be, and then a video comes up in the background, and it's you building that, and I'm like, dang it, I've got to change my plan now. The train station that you've built down there is pretty much the identical shape and layout. I mean, the roof's a bit different, but it's similar to what I had in my head for what I was about to start building. So I'm so glad that your video popped up. But yeah, I think I was going to use the same palette and everything. So I'm going to change my plans. I'm going to go outside my comfort zone and build something else. But
underground, right?
No, not underground. No. I've already laid all the track and everything. I've laid out where I was going to build something, so I've got like a rough size. And yeah, and then your video popped up building that. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad it did, because that has saved me from the comments, from quite a lot of abuse, most likely.
What palette? Brick?
Well, just literally the brick with the glass arched roof over the top, like the two. It was going to be.
Well, that's every train station ever.
Chosen. You know the amount of abuse I would have got.
Those are good comments, though.
I mean,
yes.
Embrace them. All comments are good comments, but
well, I mean, look what I got to deal with. I got eggs built that. When you go over there, it makes this look tiny.
Oh, what is that?
It's a shulker farm.
Oh, that's where the shulker that one, the tongue twister shop. Yeah.
And it makes this look minuscule.
No, this looks absolutely incredible.
Yep, this is the inspired by that image I sent. I was like,
when you went away a few weeks ago, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I told my wife when I seen that thing, I said I'm gonna build that.
Well, you certainly have. What is it though?
Yep.
Like, what's it for? What are you doing over here?
It's chocolate.
Chocolate. You built. Oh, yes, I see it now. I see it now.
It's a chocolate factory.
This is the perfect building for a chocolate factory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, we're producing everything. There's gonna be a shop. I got Scorchia. Thinking about limestone for for white chocolate.
Oh, yeah, well, limestone would be good, just if you want to just sell it in general, because...
Well, Eggs sells it right now.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, because I've just opened a stone shop, and I don't have limestone.
Yeah, limestone was great. This is... I don't have honey, though, which this was supposed to be honey apples. I didn't do that. Then we had the chocolate glazed berries and chocolate. I still wish there was more uses for this. Like, this just seems like a lot of work for...
Snacks. Sweet treats.
Yeah.
You should totally sell these things on the train station as well.
On the train station. Yeah, at the train station. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of spare stalls there. I sold them to Stan, but this is just too incredible. You can just have one. Just
okay.
to sell chocolate. Just pick one. And yeah, take it over. There's like an empty shop at one end. There's one that's already done up a bit like a diner at the other end, but that you could probably convert into a bakery that's not actually doing anything.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And if Stan asks, you paid at least 32 diamonds.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll tell him that.
Yeah, I just want to see
60.
sweet rolls.
I paid 64 diamonds.
Yes, yeah, tell him that.
It'll make him feel better.
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see sweet rolls in the station. What can I say?
They'll be there. They'll be there. They're producing. At least so I hope so. Unless something's broken.
Good news, we're no longer zoomed in massively. And in other news, I'm not sure if it's good or not, it's now 3 days later and I've been really struggling with this. I've had guests over the weekend, so I use that as a good time to procrastinate and think about this area, and I think I've finally come up with a plan. Because not only do I want this area to serve as a train station that allows us to move stuff around the world, I also want to have my main sort of centralized storage here as well. Because we're outgrowing the one at spawn, and yeah, I'm definitely going to need a new one. So I think we're going to combine those two things. I also don't think we need 4 lines over here anymore, so I'm actually going to reduce it down to 2, and all those doodles we did earlier on are completely irrelevant because we're going to completely change the layout of this area. But once I've done that, I should be in a much better position to build what we need. First though, I need to clear up all of these blocks. I need to replace all of the tuff that we've got down here with grass, so I'm probably going to use my train for that. Then I need to remove these 4 train lines here and completely redo it. Then we can start planning all over again. There we go. That is looking much better. Look how much space we've got. We've still got to put a couple more rails in down that end by the looks of it. But I've pretty much doubled the size of this bit here, so we've got plenty of space to work with over the back. I've made the gap in between the rails bigger, and we've only got 2 rails now, because to be honest, I think that's all we're going to need. And we're going to start building our building over this bit here. I've marked out a couple of spots with our cobble where we're going to start, and we've got our mirror, and it should give us a nice big building in the middle here. And I'm not going to draw it this time, but I do have a bit of an idea of how this is going to look, but it's most likely not going to look anything like a drawing I might produce. So I need to grab myself some brick because it's going to be a very sort of traditional, just big brick warehouse, really. I mean, we'll fancify it in a few places and give it some shape, but in general, just big brick building. But for a big brick building, I need brick, and I don't think I bought any over here with me. I did not. Luckily, we produce it right here. So what do we got? 3.2k. That is plenty. We'll just grab a few stacks of that and start marking out our foundation. Because we've taken those, this is all kicking in again. Excellent stuff. Now, let's start planning a building. And in fact, as we go along, I might even plan where some pillars are going to go. I reckon something about that size should do the job nicely. We'll have a couple of loading bays on this side. We'll have a couple of loading bays on this side. And you may notice the building is not mirrored. We're actually going to have it different on this side of the center than we are on this side, just to mix it up a bit. But I think before we can really go any further, I do want to get just a very basic shell of this building in. So I'm pretty much just going to be building out of brick. We're going to get a nice big shape in. We might get a roof on as well. And then we're going to work out where the trains are actually going to go and how they're going to offload things and figure it out from there. So there's a whole lot of block placing to do. Let's do it to some funky music. a short while later, big warehouse building. Although I do still need to put a roof on it, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Although I've punched out where the windows are going to go, before we actually put any detail or do anything nice to this building, I actually want to do a little bit more planning and make sure that this is going to be correct and in the right place. Because if we do need to move it, it's going to be much easier to glue this amount of bricks together and shuffle it around with a piston than it will be to do a little bit later. So next up, I think we want to plan this station area out the back here. Because if this is going to be our storage warehouse, then this area over here is going to be where we actually offload things. Let's go get some different blocks. Now, I think what we want to do for a platform over here is have a nice big platform. So I think we're going to run the entire length of the back of this building. Something like that. And then over the back here, we're going to have some kind of big container yard type thing with a great big crane that moves the containers to and from the train. I think that would look quite cool. Although I have no idea if we'll get to building that today or not. But now I think what I want to do is sort out the floors. So I want to get the platform actually in. I want to work out how that connects to the building. And then I want to work out how the inside of the building is going to work. Because essentially we're going to have a drop-off area over here and another one over here, which I do need to actually cut out the doors again. Which means this whole central area here is going to be our storage and potentially even a workshop as well, because currently our workshop's over at spawn and we do kind of need one over here. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's sort out the floor and maybe get some sleep. And we can probably also mark out where the road's going to go, which I think is just going to be this way, and then it's going to cut across the rail and go across the back here. So that should work out nicely. Let's have a quick nap and then place a bunch more blocks. So I've got some floors in. We've got the platform that's going to go there. And on the inside, I think we're going to have these two sort of delivery bays on either side. And then a big central bit for actually storing everything on. So I think we're just going to tidy this up a little bit here. And then we're going to start working out the actual storage system, because that's what's going to tell me if I've built this right or not. I mean, I'm certainly not concerned about space. We should be fine for that side of things. But let's see what happens. So let's have another nap, grab a load of blocks, and see what we can do. Now, for this build, we're going to need a whole lot of funnels. So we'll just take everything we got. We're going to need a lot of item vaults, more than that. We're going to need a whole load of stock links. We're going to need a bunch of packages, possibly even more than that. We're going to need belts and shafts and, of course, power. Now, I'm going to need a whole lot more vaults and probably more packages as well. So, let's go shopping. And I'm going to buy every last vault we have here. There's apparently 18 stacks, or 18 purchases, which I think might only be 9 stacks. Yeah, 9 stacks. And bearing in mind, it takes more than a stack of vaults to make a full-size vault, and I want lots and lots of full-size vaults. I'm going to buy all these barrels as well and make some more, which also means I'm going to need a whole lot of iron, so let's just grab some from here and we'll turn all that into sheets. And in the meantime, while we wait for that, I'm probably going to make a few more barrels. I have made a bunch of barrels, but I don't have much more wood. So I'm wondering, does Eggs' shop over there, the one that sells all the storage shells and things like that? Ooh, more plans. Look at this. Excellent stuff. But I'm wondering if Egg's storage shop also happens to sell barrels. That is this one here. It does have barrels. Excellent. How many do you have? So many barrels. All of those, please. And good news, it's delivering them to me as packages. Makes for easy transportation. Sadly, he's not selling the vaults yet, though. All the other stuff I need. Although, he does have a back alley shop. Does this one sell cardboard? It does. So we need some of that as well. Because if we convert this into blocks of cardboard, we can use them for the packages, because we need to make at least another half a stack of those, probably. But it also gives us some nice decoration blocks. So let's get all these barrels out. So many barrels. With this many volts, we're going to want a whole lot more iron. Let's get more of that being squished. And in the meantime, I also need girders. Lots and lots of girders. And in fact, while I'm here, I think he sells chains as well. Yes, let's grab some of those. I spend way too many diamonds in this shop. So let's make a bunch of packages. Ah, I need more iron. I've just flattened all my iron. Back to the farm we go. So we can make another 26 of those. That should be plenty. Also want to grab a few frog ports while we're here, but we won't need many of those. Now we just need to craft up a whole load of vaults. And there's no crafting table down there. Or up here. That is not useful. We should now have everything we need to build this storage area. And I think I want to start over in this corner. But first, I do want to tidy up these little roady bits here. I think it'll be nice to have some kind of an edge on this. And then put some slabs in to make this a bit more slopey. Probably don't want them to. And then let's tidy up this as well. And we'll do the same or similar on the other side. While we're here, let's put up a couple of fences as well. Safety first and all that. I'll tell you what, I don't think I do want a wall on this bit here. I think I just want to leave that as the exposed ramp. So now we can see what space we're working with. So that's basically the center of the room, at least aligned to these ones, which I know is offset from this one here. But yeah, that's just the way it's going to be on the inside, I guess. So if we were to, for example, start putting bolts in like here, it'd be 3 wide and 9 long. I think that could work. And in fact, I reckon we might even be able to pull them a little bit further out, maybe to like there. And if we feel like we need more volts, we can do the same thing on that side. And what I'm picturing here is a big wall of volts, maybe 3 or 4 volts tall, about 5 volts wide. And then we're going to hook that all up to one delivery system, or storage and delivery system, I should say, because it's also going to be our main storage as well as somewhere where stuff's going to be deposited from and stored before going off to other factories and whatnot, and eventually the shopping district. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just get a wall of volts in first. There we go, big wall of volts. Now what we want to do is sort out the system that's going to remove stuff from the volts first, and we'll work out how to feed them after. What I'm thinking is we'll just put packages across the front of every volt with a funnel in front of those, and then a delivery belt. And what we'll do is we'll do the same on the next 2 levels and just feed everything down onto this belt, which means I need a whole bunch of chutes, and I think I didn't bring any of those with me. Well, that was silly. Chutes have been acquired, so let's link up the second level, and thankfully my jetpack is coming in very handy here, and we're just going to do that to make it look like they're actually attached. Get the funnels on, and in fact we're going to need to move these chutes a little bit further away, so I'm going to need space there to get a funnel on. Nope, not quite there. Then we just need to add in some more belts here. And we're going to need to get power to all these belts. So if we were just to link up a whole bunch of chain drives here, when we actually bring power over here, that should get it going nicely. We'll just have to make sure they're going in the right direction. Now, the last thing we need over here is a whole bunch of stock links. And there we go. They are all linked into the same network. So now the delivery system, or the request system, I should say, is now sorted. We'll work out where it's going to go and where the collection point's going to be a little bit later. For now, what I want to do is worry about how we're going to fill up these vaults. And there's a couple of options. One, we could put in chutes. So we could literally just have chutes between the different vaults and then feed everything into this top row. So then things will filter down. But the problem with that is these chutes are going to act as blockers. So if, for example, this bottom vault here is only 50% full, but it's got lots of different slots used because I've got, say, individual unstackable items in it, it might be able to accept more items, but only more of the same it's already got. If an item then goes into the chute and can't go into the vault, it's just going to act as a blocker pretty much forever, which means nothing else is going to be able to load into this vault either, and that means we're not going to be very efficient with our storage usage. So that only leaves us really with one option, and that is to do something similar to this, but on the back. And essentially, we're going to need to snake the items past the front of every single vault, and as long as the vaults have just got funnels along the back here like this, they'll just pick up the items if they can fit in. And that way, everything's always going to be accessible and nothing's going to get left behind. So let's figure out how we're going to snake these across. And because we're probably going to have a second batch of vaults over there, I think what I want to do is start this at the bottom. So we'll send it across this way, then we'll send it across this way, then up, and then across that way, and then we can just sort of loop it around the walls and then do the same thing and snake down the other side. If it ever gets that far, but I mean, all these vaults on this side are going to have to be full before that happens. So let's just get the next row of funnels in, preferably in the right place, and get the next belt in as well. Now, what we need to do is push the items from here upwards. So what I'm thinking is we'll put a fan down here with chutes on top, and that will blow everything onto this conveyor belt here and then send it that way. Although we are going to need to go 1 block further because once again we need to have a funnel input. And I did not mean to destroy that belt up here, but we do need to make it longer anyway, I suppose. Right, there we go. Then we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll just stick another fan underneath and bring everything up to this level where we'll put another conveyor belt in. We're just going to make sure all of these funnels are the right way round, so they're all accepting items. Excellent. So that should get the items going round in the correct way. I do, however, need to add power to these things, and we need to reverse the power as it goes up. So I think what I'm going to do is just remove this pillar here. So if this belt was going this way, that would reverse it for the next one. But then it's going to reverse again when we put that one there, which means we need another gearbox. And if we do the same thing here, that should get the belts running in opposite directions. I think while we're here, we'll power the fans as well. And these may or may not be going in the right direction when we turn them on, but we'll figure that out later. So that will hook up that one. And if we just do this, that will hook up that one. And we can shove in a gearbox if we need to make that change direction. But I think with that, we've now got an input system and we've got an output system, or at least part of one. I think what I need to do is maybe just hook some power over here, at least temporarily for now. I'm going to grab that from over there. So I think for now, I'm literally just going to dump down some of these chain things and link them together. It's going to look absolutely horrific. But that's a problem for the future. For now, I want to get this storage system working. So it's messy, but we do now have power arriving here. What I want to do, though, is speed that power up to max speed and then get it linked up over there. And to be honest, what I might do is actually just put it underground and have it pop up on that side. But I need a speed controller and I don't have any with me. And I'm almost out of rockets as well. Hooked up the power underneath this vault here and everything appears to be going in the correct direction, at least in terms of the belts. Oh no, wait a minute. Or not. Does that need to be like that? It does. Me and gearboxes. I always get it wrong first time. So items are moving downwards here. So this one is also going the wrong way. There we go. That chute is now pointing upwards. And this one is also sending items upwards. Excellent. So that means that anything that goes on this bit of belt here will eventually filter into one of these vaults. Now we just need to hook up these belts here. And it looks like this is going the right way. So this should be nice and easy. Yeah, there we go. So anything that comes out of these is going to go into these chutes, onto this bit of belt, and then currently just into oblivion. So if we were just to put a small little bit in here, then that will send everything this way. I'm sure we've got a barrel laying around. Yep, there we go. Just one or two. Then with a funnel there, that means all the packages will go into this box. From there, we can use frogs or ejectors or something, I don't know. But at least we've got somewhere to collect the packages currently. So I do want to make this look a little bit better. We need to do some makey look nice, I think. And we need to figure out how we're getting items onto this belt here in the first place. And I'm thinking maybe if we just adjust this here slightly, and that creates a bit of space here, so we can have a barrel, packager, brass funnels so everything comes out nice and fast, and then we'll have a frog and we'll have some kind of chain conveyor system to get everything dropped off, I think. Right, anyway, let's get some casings and maybe even just add a little bit of support under these. Don't think it needs more than that. There we go, that looks much better. Now I just need to build another one of them over here. And as we've already built it once, I think the easiest thing to do would just be to use a mirrored schematic cannon and put it over here. Although we are going to need a bunch more volts. We've only got 2 and a bit stacks left. But we've still got a whole lot of barrels. Let's go. And in fact, over here, we've got a whole lot of iron. Right, let's go make some volts. We'll probably be able to buy some more from Chosen by now as well, I reckon. Got a fresh box of volts, and I've got our schematic stuff. So we should be able to quickly blast another one of these into existence. And just like that, we now have one on the other side, which is perfectly mirrored. Now let's get this one hooked up to power as well. And that looks like it's going the right way. So all of those are. These ones, however, I do want to switch round to going the other direction. So if we do that, and we're not going to need all this stuff on this side, then all we need to do now is link up the belt from that side to the belt on this side. That should be easy enough if we just do this. Then jam in a couple of gearboxy things here. That should get everything running for us. Now things are going to snake their way up the back, come round here, and then we need to make a couple of adjustments here just to make it all snake its way back down. We don't need the fans anymore. This is good. So if we just do it like this, that should work, although I'm a little bit concerned about things flying off the end there. So let's just stick a panel there. And another one there. And we should probably do that on this side as well. And I have to make sure that I don't put casing on these ones here, otherwise that will stop things from being able to be pushed through or pushed up, something like that. At least that used to be the case, and I'm going to assume it still is. It can, however, cover all of this in casing. But with that, our storage is now connected. We just need to actually have a delivery and drop-off area. But before we get to that, I think I want to add a bit more to this building. I'm thinking if we had a walkway or something running across the back here, we could then hang chain drives from it, and we could use that to sort of deliver stuff about. So I'm not going to go into too much detail just yet, but we're going to get some windows in, we'll get a roof on, and work out where the other floors are going to be. But I'm very excited to get this massive storage system working.
help.
Right. What's up?
It has to do with the delivery system at spawn.
Ah, okay. Weirdly, I'm working on my side of it at the moment, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never built any like vans and stuff traveling around on roads. Do you have any? Do I need to think about something like for the turns and like?
So, where to begin? So, underneath the shopping district is already hollow, which is good.
Yeah.
So, essentially, what you want to do is you want to lay your tracks like underground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you'll have your bogey sitting on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
a
you just
glass
have,
pane.
yeah, then you have your glass panes going up, and then you connect it to the thing. But generally, what I do in regards to turns and stuff like that is like just treat it like a train, like as if you're doing. It's exactly like you're doing a train layout, except you can't see where it's going. So occasionally down the bottom, if like the truck's going up a slope or something, then you'll need to raise the track underneath. Just make sure you got all your signals in, and you should be fine. And
okay.
I think I've done the roads at the shopping area, which I assume is where you're doing this.
We're gonna do 2 wide, right? Like 2 tracks next to each other.
So I've done them wide enough so you can have them going in each direction. But honestly, just build it like a rail yard underneath the shopping district, like a rail line, the same way you would do that. And you should be okay. And because we can just use post boxes for dropping stuff off, you don't have to worry about all the connections and where stuff lines up.
Oh, true. No, I will probably just get the main ring in for now, and then when people want to stock up, they'll have to like connect it to the line and all that stuff.
Yes. Obviously, you're just going to get the main ring and the.
I'm going to get the main ring and into that little alleyway behind our shops.
Yeah, and into the warehouse.
Yes, and oh yeah, of course, over into the warehouse, get all the parking spots set up and everything. That will all be sorted.
Nice.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, good.
Because
so just train yard underground. Okay.
Yeah, basically, it's just an underground train line. That's all it is. But instead of having trains running underground, you just have them connected to poles that then run around on the ground. You know what makes the whole thing easier, though?
Yeah.
Steam and rails. Yeah, steam and rails.
I mean,
apparently it's close.
Do you know? Oh yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
Do you know what would be really annoying? Me setting this up today, and then like next week or something, they release it, and we have to.
That would.
We could have just.
That would, but it'll be a great comparison as to why we've added steam and rails. So technically, not a bad thing.
Yay. Okay, I'm gonna go set up a train track underground.
Well, yeah. Good luck, Toodles. I'll come check on your progress later, probably.
Okay,
maybe.
bye.
He cut off when he disappeared. Brilliant. Right, anyway, I have made a start on the roof over here, as you can see. I've also added a few extra torches on the top here of these vaults, because, well, creepers were spawning up, and we don't want that. I've lit up the ledges, because they would have caused problems in future, and I do have underfloor lighting over the whole of this thing. I've just basically used shroom lights, and then put a copycat panel at floor level above them, because that way, the light still comes through. A bit like in Bedrock, how light comes through slabs. But anyway, I've still got some more roofs to do. We're only halfway done with this building so far. And then once I've got the windows in, I can put in a couple of internal floors, and then we can actually sort out the rest of this delivery system. Let's get back to it. Progress has been made. We now have our very undetailed roofs on. We have our windows in. We don't have a doorway yet, or at least a proper one. But I've sorted out the windows at the back as well. We've got some floors in. We've even got a way to get onto the different floors. And I quite like this mezzanine bit at the back here, mostly because it now means I can hook up some chain drives. So first up, we're actually going to raise this one up by 1. Jam it right in the corner there. Then we just need to connect that one in the corner back over here again, where all the broken chains are. As I say, we will make all this look nice. I've got a bit of an idea of how we can get the power over here in a nice way without having to hide it underground. But that's something for another day. For now, let's see if we can get these chains in over here. And my initial plan is just to have a line of them sort of going underneath down here. So that's the line in, but I do want it to be moving a bit faster. So maybe instead of connecting it across the top here, we should actually connect it to the faster bit down here. And I quite like the idea of just having it exposed on the wall like that. That's looking pretty good. But now we've got some high-speed chains over here. That means that firstly, I can link up this frog here, and we'll just call him Mr. B Storage. Nice and simple. I don't think I'm going to use frogs on these. I've got a bit of an idea. So this is going to be the stuff that gets delivered to us. For this, we're going to have an andesite funnel here. We'll do the same on this side. And I think I want to use weighted ejector plates and just fire them over here so that it lands where it needs to be. In fact, I probably want it to be a bit further this way. So how about we grab the power from there. We'll put the ejector plate down here. And the center point would therefore be right there. We'll do the same on this side. So if we have a barrel there with a packager on top and an input funnel, then yeah, we should just be able to link them up to that. So whenever we order anything, this is where it will come out. Now I need a stock link system. And to be honest, I think I need a little bit more light on the front of these. They look very dark at night, don't they? How about maybe just some dangly lights under some of these? There we go, much better. Now let's just do the same over here. It looks so dark and gloomy. So if we put a stock link down there, that is now connected to the network. This is good. Let's maybe build a nice little sort of desk area around this. I guess we're going to want a manual drop-off point as well. So I'm just going to sneak that in behind. So we're going to need a frog for that. And we're also going to need an address for this. So just Mr. B Storage should do it. Now hopefully anything we put in there... Oh, wait a sec. I need to power it. Let's give that some power from underneath. That should do it. And that has, yep, there we go. That's just sent off our items, which should now be in this vault. Excellent. Now I need to get myself some weighted ejectors to hook up this last bit, and we need a clerk. I mean, we could use a horse. There's one right here. Ah, the horse is a bit big. Lucky escape for you, sir. So I have an angry bee. His buddy stung me, so didn't want to use that one. But I wonder, will this guy stay angry if I put him in a seat? Who knows? Right, let's see what happens. Nope, nope, he's still angry. Staying angry for quite a while. Just calm down, sir. Look, we can be friends. Just chill. Yeah, I did destroy his home, to be fair. Now, can I put you in the seat? Why does nothing want to go in my seat? Fine, we'll get something else. Well, I guess it's going to be you, sir. Finally, we have a clerk. We can see what we've got. And if we request something, it should just make its way over to here. And then into the barrel. So that is the first part of our brand new storage system complete. We're going to be able to store millions of items. This is awesome. And I think with a few more additions to this, it could be looking pretty good pretty soon. We've got a whole lot of work to do on the outside. We still need to connect it up to the actual delivery network. And we need to make the exterior of the building actually look good. And we still don't have a passenger station or anywhere to put one, because I don't think I'm going to put one over here. But despite today's crisis, I think we have now overcome it. Sadly, I think that's about all we're going to get done today, though. This video is a little bit longer than usual, and it's most likely late by now. So sorry about that, but sometimes creative block and crisis just happen. And I assure you I am still working on the merch that should be available after the weekend, so you'll be able to grab some of those awesome posters for yourself. But make sure you come back and join me on the next episode, where we're going to be sorting out the yard at the back here and doing a little bit more to make this storage even better. There's plenty we can still do in here to make it useful. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.